So in this today's lecture, we are going to introduce the dams and hydraulic structures. So what is a dam? Dam is nothing but a reservoir which stores the water. So it is a barrier that impounds water or underground streams. Okay, means it collects the water and it stores the water. Okay, so it also conveys the water to the downstream side or the canal system. So this is the purpose of the storage of a huge amount of water. A dam can also be used to collect water or for storage of water, which can be evenly distributed between the locations. Means for irrigation purpose, for even water distribution purpose also this can be used. So dams generally serve the primary purpose of retaining water. So it stores the water, it retains the water, it collects the water. Okay. Now, as far as the classification of dams is considered, basically it is classified in three main categories. First one is according to its use. Second one according to the hydraulic design, and third one by the materials used for its construction. Okay, so the first one is according to use. Again, we have the number of types. What will be the use? For storage, for diversion, for detention. As far as the hydraulic design is considered, then overflow, non-overflow can be the subtypes. If you consider the materials, then again two subtypes are there. First one is the rigid dam and second one is the non-rigid. So in non-rigid, you will have the earth dam and rockfill dam. And in rigid, you have the four subtypes: gravity dam, arch dam, buttress dam, steel dam, and one more is there, that is the earth dam. Okay, so five subtypes are there in rigid dam. Okay, so there can also be a detailed classification, but this is the overview of generalized classification, and we will see it in detail one by one. So earth dams. Earth dam can also be called it as a embankment dam. So it is a large artificial dam. It is typically created by the placement and compaction of complex semi-plastic mound of various compositions of soil, sand, clay, or rock. So embankment is formed. Just like in highway construction, we have the embankment for the highways, for the pathway, for the carriageway, for the right of way, we have the embankment. In the similar way, the same embankment can be used to retain the water. Okay, so it has a semi-pervious waterproof natural covering for its surface and a dense impervious core. So the core is impervious to prevent the seepage, but your embankment is semi-pervious. Okay, so it allows some type of seepage because you cannot continue, you cannot prevent the overall seepage, exact seepage. Okay, so that's why a semi-pervious word is used here. Okay, and the covering is a natural covering is there. Why it is natural? Because you are using the materials such as the soil, sand, clay, and rock. So that's why this covering will result into an overall embankment, and that will retain the water, that will store the water. Okay, so these are the medium size of dams. These are not the large dams. Okay, now the next one type is the rock-filled dam. So a rock-filled dam is a type of embankment dam. So it is also a type of embankment dam which comprises primarily compacted rock materials. So the prime materials here are the pieces of rocks. Okay, so these are shaped much like a bank or a hill. Rockfill dams are effective because the force of the river or reservoir hits the core of the embankment, is exerted in downward direction and transferred to the solid foundation of the dam. Now, because of its shape, it retains the pressure exerted by the storage of water. It transfers that pressure, that force to the solid foundation, and it firmly transfers that load because it is made with the help of the rocks, pieces of rocks. So that pieces of rock will have more density than as compared to the your earth embankment dams. Okay, because heavily rock materials are used, so that's why a self weight is there, and because of that self weight and the trapezoidal shape, the pressure exerted by water will be transferred to the foundation, and that's why a stability of these dams is more as compared to the your earth embankment dams. Okay. Then the next one is gravity dam. It is similar to the previous one, but why the name gravity is given? Because most of the pressure exerted by the water, storage of water, it mostly retained by the its gravity. Gravity means weight of the dam wall. Okay, so the masonry, stone masonry or concrete structure what we use for the construction of dam, it has a self weight, and that self weight is designed to hold back the water primarily utilizing the weight of the material alone. So this is the main concept behind this gravity dam, that the weight of the your dam wall alone resists the horizontal water pressure because of its self weight. Okay, so gravity dams provide some advantage over the embankment dams. So you can also say that gravity dams are more stable than the embankment or earth dams. Okay, so stability here is more. The weight is also balanced or retained by its trapezoidal type of shape, which creates the moment of resistance, and because of that, the huge amount of water pressure is retained. Okay, so you can also see in this image a picture of gravity dam. Then it is a different type of structure, that is arch dams. An arch dam is a solid dam made up of the concrete that is curved upstream in plan. So as its name suggests, as you can see the shape of this type of dam wall, it is convex from the upstream side and it is concave on the downstream side. So it is having a curve shape, it is having a parabolic shape, it is having certain radius, that curve shape. Okay, so the action by which it resists the huge amount of water pressure is known as the arch action. Okay, so why this arch action is created? This arch action is created because of its shape. The huge amount of water pressure is exerted symmetrically on this curved dam wall, and that force is differentiated equally, symmetrically in both directions. So this arch action is created a compression is created in that arch and it strengthens the structure. So an interlock position is created here, and that's why it also provides the more stability to the structure. So basically, a concrete wall is used, concrete curved wall is used to create an arch-like structure and to prevent the more stability to this dam structure. So the arch shape is used, and that's why these dams are called as the arch dams. Okay. Now, this type of dams, such as the steel dams, then timber dams, this will come under the small dam section. So steel dam, what is steel dam? It is type of dam in which, to restrict the flow of water, a barrage-like structure is used made up of the steel. So now there is a variety of materials made up of the steel. Interlocking structure can be used, or you can also use the nut bolt system to interlock this type of steel panels in a different shape. Okay, so the steel panels are used, steel structure is used, and a dam wall is created. Okay, so that the maintenance of these dams can be easy, right? So steel can be assembled, deassembled, the steel panels. Okay, so this is the advantage of this steel dams. Now, similar to the steel dams, timber dams can also be used. In this picture, you can see the timber dams. So this varies in between, the dam wall height varies between the 2 meter to 4 meter, or rarely up to 8 meter. So there is what you can say, a limitation to its height. So this dams falls under the category small to medium dams. Okay, and again a weir-like structure is used. You can see in this image, in this picture, that weir-like structure is formed with the help of timber, and this structure resists or retains the water flow. So a small storage, a small reservoir can be created, and water is allowed to pass over it. If a water is allowed to pass over it, then it is a weir-like a structure. Okay, so this can be classified as a small dam structure. So timbers are used here uh, as a steel, as a dam wall. Okay, so now another type of dam here is a buttress dam. Now, what is this buttress dam? So segments are there. That segments will have certain interval, as you can see in this picture. These are the buttress, and it forms a buttress wall, and the structure is called as the buttress dam. So this type of curve structures can be formed, as you can see, or rectangular small segments can be formed, and that can be connected to each other to form the buttress wall. So this type of dams are the buttress dam. Now, why this used? To provide the more stability. This type of sloping walls, sloping segments with equal interval, symmetrical shape, they can be used to provide the more stability. And a series of buttresses or supports. Buttresses are nothing but a supports. So the support is extended over the downstream side, so that again that type of trapezoidal shape can be formed to resist the moment created by the force of water. So this dam wall may be straight or it may be curved. So this is a special type of dam which is known as the buttress dam. Now we will move towards the major dams in India. Some of the major dams that you can point out is the Cheruthoni Dam from the Kerala. So the dam specifications are given here, that it is the largest concrete gravity dam in Kerala, having height of 450 feet, length of 2300 feet. It is a concrete gravity dam made on the same river. So the description, the details of the dams are given. Then one more dam is the Indira Sagar Dam from the Madhya Pradesh. So again, it is having a medium to high height, because 92 meter. So it will fall under the large dams. Its length is 653 meter. This is the length of that, what you can say, dam wall. So again, it is a concrete gravity dam made on the Narmada river. So dams along with also have the hydropower project. So many of the dams in India having this type of hydropower plants installed along with this dam wall. So it is having a capacity of 1000 megawatt. Okay, so it is the one of the major dam from the Madhya Pradesh. Then Krishna Raj Sagar Dam from the Karnataka, having height of 125 feet, length of 3.5 kilometers. So it is a masonry dam. So it is made up of your stone masonry. It is built on the river Kaveri. So it is also the one of the important dam nearby the Mysore in Karnataka. It also has the installed capacity of 200 megawatts. Now, one of the dam from the Tamil Nadu, that is the Mettur Dam. It is also built on the Kaveri River. It is concrete dam having length of 1.7 kilometer and height of 120 feet. It's having a small hydropower capacity of the 32 megawatt. So it is one of the largest and oldest dam built in India. So at that time, before the independence, this was the one of the largest dam. Now at this current era, you are having the Bhakra Nangal Dam, which is the largest dam in India. It is situated in Punjab. Now, Bisalpur Dam from the Rajasthan. So Rajasthan is having 50% of area in a desert, but still some of the area is also a normal area. So rivers are also there in Rajasthan, and this is the largest dam of Rajasthan, having length of 1883 feet and height of 130 feet. So it is also a gravity dam. It is also having a hydropower plant having capacity of 172 megawatt. Then from the Maharashtra, we are having the Koyna Dam. So Koyna Dam is built across the river Koyna in Koyna Nagar, Maharashtra. It's having height of 103 meter. So it is one of the largest dam from the Maharashtra. It's located on the Sahyadri Ghats, that is Western Ghat, and the reservoir we called it as the Shiv Sagar Lake. And it is what we called it as a lifeline of the West Maharashtra, because the capacity, the hydropower capacity of this dam is huge, very huge, just like the thermal power plants. So in Maharashtra, the largest capacity of the thermal power plant is near about 2500. So it comes nearby to that. So it is a major hydropower project from the India, or you can call it as one of the largest hydropower plants from the India, having a capacity of 1920 megawatts. So this dam is what you can say in Maharashtra, one of the major dam, and it is also having various projects inside that dam, such as the hydropower project is there. Then one more project is there, that is the underground construction is also going on for this dam for the purpose of the special rock blasted intake. So that is also the, what you can say, a new project, which is the only project in India having such intake methodology. So that's why this we should feel proud on this Koyana Dam, that it is having such type of huge undergoing projects. So this Koyana Dam is having the 6 gates. So these are the radial gates. Then one of the dam from Jharkhand, Maithon Dam, having height of 165 feet and length of 15712 feet. It is also the concrete earthen dam. It is also having a very small capacity for the hydropower, that is 60 megawatt. Then Rihan Dam from the UP, Uttar Pradesh, having a medium size hydropower capacity, that is 300 megawatt, height of 299 feet and length of 3064 feet. So this is a picture of this dam. Then one more dam is the Tungabhadra Dam, again from the Karnataka state, having a small size installed capacity 72 megawatt, built on the Tungabhadra river. It is also on the, what you can say, it is also the earthen gravity dam. So there are few earthen gravity dams in Maharashtra also. One of the dam is the Gangapur Dam near the Nashik. So that is also the one of the oldest earthen dam from the Maharashtra. Then Bhavani Sagar Dam from the Tamil Nadu. It is also having length of 1.7 kilometer, height of 105 feet, and having a huge capacity of 1920 megawatt. So this was about the various dams from the India, major dams from the India. Now we will have a brief introduction of the Koyana Dam. So which is the one of the largest dams from the Maharashtra. So it is a rubble concrete dam constructed on a Koyana river nearby the Mahabaleshwar. So the main purpose of this dam is to generate the hydropower, that is the hydroelectricity, with the irrigation also. So the water from the canals is also used for the irrigation purpose. So Koyana Hydroelectric Project is the largest completed hydroelectric power plant in India, as earlier said, having a total installed capacity of 1920 megawatt. So due to its electricity generating potential, this is considered as a lifeline of Maharashtra. So in early 20th century, there was a survey of the Koyna River as hydroelectric source by the Tata Group. So Tata Group did that survey and given a proposal. In 1928, the financial crisis was also there. It was before independence, and after independence, it was taken over by the government of Maharashtra. So in 1928, this construction started. In 1951, Koyna Dam Division started to look into the project. The project was approved in 1953 and work commenced in early 1954. So the project proposal was started early from the 1928, but actual dam construction was completed in the year 1962. So from 1951 to 1962 means 11 years, the overall project construction phase was there. So it is a rubble concrete dam having a concrete concrete wall structure. So height of 103 meter, length of 807 meter, that is the dam wall length. So the reservoir name is the Shivsagar Lake, having a total capacity of 2267900 acre feet. Or if you convert it into the cubic meter, then it is 279,746 times 0 meter cube is the total volume of the water it can store, having a surface area of 891 square kilometers. So it is near about 1000 square kilometer area. That much huge amount of water is stored in this Shivsagar Lake. So as earlier said, it is having the 6 radial gates. So this dam is also useful while controlling the floods because of its huge storage. So the catchment area and this river by nearby area forms the Shivsagar Lake. So which is having the 50-kilometer length, average length. So it is one of the largest civil engineering projects commissioned after Indian independence. So it is one of the largest civil engineering project at that time after the independence. Koyna Hydroelectric Power Project is run by Maharashtra State Electricity Board. So because of this dam falls in the what you can say earthquake prone area, medium earthquake prone area, there was a challenge in its construction. In the past, the earthquakes were also there. In 1967, the Koyna Nagar earthquake was there. So this was the challenges from the nature for its construction, maintenance, and preservation. So it developed, that earthquake developed certain cracks, right? And the repair of crack and repair of all these dams is one of the challenge, right? Because if the dam structure fails, then it may cause the huge amount of destruction on the downstream side. So that's why, for the safety of the people, the stability of this dam is having a prime importance. So nowadays also there are the small earthquakes in this area, right? And still the research is going on this project. So the repairs were there from when the construction has completed. From that time, the repair and maintenance are continuously there. So the all generators are located in underground powerhouses. So the powerhouse of this dam are underground. These are excavated deep inside the mountains of Western Ghats. So this is also one of the characteristic of this hydropower plant, that the turbines are underground. So there are various stages of the installation of this or commencement. From the commencement, there are various stages of the hydroelectric power plant. In stage 1 and stage 2, the Pelton turbines were used, right? Then various turbines having various installed capacity. So the 4 turbines having 65 megawatt each capacity for stage 1 and 75 megawatt capacity for the second stage. Surge tank is also built to reduce the effect of water hammer, to reduce the thrust caused by the pressure of the flow of water in the penstocks. So the surge tank is also used. Now it also has the Francis turbines having a small capacity of the 20 megawatt each. Now the combined installed capacity of the 2 stages and the dam foot powerhouse is 600 megawatt. So these are the curve plates of the turbine, as you can see here. So the head means the initial potential energy head, what we call it as, is having at a height of 120 meter. So the various stages continued, and the capacity of this dam is increased step by step. So the again 4 Francis turbine having 80 megawatt capacity was installed. After that, again the 320 megawatt stage is operated, and again in stage 4 the 250 megawatt capacity was used recently, and the capacity of this power plant, because of these 4 installations of the 250 megawatt each, it resulted into the overall capacity of 1920 megawatt, which is the largest, one of the largest from the India. Now a lake tapping project was also was there, which is the unique project in first of its kind in Asia. So what is this lake tapping? Lake tapping is nothing but blasting the reservoir at its center. The rocks are blasted to create the non-conventional intake. Means the water will flow. The water will flow below the dam, and from an underground tunnel, the water is carried over. Okay, so this is one of its kind double leg tapping process, first of its kind in Asia. So this is the pictorial representation. So that's why this is the one of the most important dam in India because of its hydropower capacity.